Hello Leo, Sun Rising and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So Leo, today we're going to go over your energy as well as your person's energy. We're going to see how the both of you are currently viewing this relationship, how you guys feel about it, and what actions you guys plan on taking each other's direction and are moving forward. But before we start pulling some tarot, let's get the overall energy for this connection. All right, so we do have attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. Now, this to me basically represents the Nine of Swords, to be honest. Somebody's having a very difficult time remaining in the present moment. It's like somebody finds themselves very worried and very concerned about the future is like the best way that I could describe this energy. But honestly, I only feel like there's only one person in this equation that's going through this. So it could be you, Leo, or it could even be your person, but somebody's in a Nine of Swords energy, very worried and very concerned about something or extremely stressed out. Nine of Swords could definitely represent somebody who's very worried and concerned about something that might not even occur, that might not even happen. So you might find yourself extremely worried and concerned about something that more than likely is not going to happen, or may not ever happen, to be honest. Or maybe your person finds themselves extremely worried and concerned about something. But let's get a little bit more information. We're going to focus on you first, and then we'll jump over to your person and their energy. Just keep in mind that the roles can be reversed. Okay. How does Leo currently view this relationship? How does Leo currently view this relationship? So we do have the Hermit, we do have the Queen of Cups, and then we also have the Page of Swords. Okay, I don't feel like you're the person that's currently worried and concerned about absolutely anything. No. It's more than likely this person that you currently find yourself connecting with, but we're going to look into them in a second. But with the Hermit to the Queen of Cups to the Page of Swords coming out here for you, you know, I do see you very focused, yes, on yourself, but I do see you very focused on someone that you either currently find yourself talking to / getting to know, especially with the Ace of Cups coming out here at the bottom of the deck. So there's somebody here that you currently find yourself connecting with, that you're starting to develop a lot of emotions for. I am getting that, Leo. But yeah, right now I just kind of see you very focused on yourself, as well as you know, this person that you currently find yourself connecting with, that you're very, very into, because I'm getting that you're very, very into this person. Very into them. You're starting to develop a lot of emotions for them. Doesn't look like you're talking to anybody else or entertaining anybody else but this person that you're developing a lot of emotions for. Okay. How does this person currently view this relationship? How does this person currently view this relationship with Leo, Sun, Rising, and Venus? Okay, so we do have the Emperor, we do have the Six of Pentacles, and then we also have the Seven of Wands out here. When it comes down to how this person is currently viewing this relationship with you, I feel like this person is trying their hardest to not come on too strong is basically what I'm getting. Okay, it's like they don't want to come on too strong and or be extremely overbearing. I am definitely getting that off of this person, their energy. With the Emperor to the Six of Pentacles coming out here, this fairly new person that you find yourself talking to / getting to know, they're definitely putting their best foot forward when it comes down to you. I'm getting an energy of them really wanting to, like, you know, woo you and impress you. They truly are putting their best foot forward, I will say that. But this whole them trying their hardest to not come on too strong, I kind of want to entertain that a little bit more. So let's look at the Seven of Wands. All right, we do have the Two of Pentacles, we got the Six of Wands, and then we also have the Fool. Interesting. The bottom of the deck, we do have the Six of Cups. I am definitely getting that this person is starting to develop a very strong and intense emotional attachment to you. I am definitely getting that this person, they are trying their hardest to not come off extremely clingy. I am getting that. Between you and I, if this person does take like a while, for example, to like text you back, it's not because this person's busy. It's because this person, you know, is, you know, just trying to kind of play it off like, you know, they are busy, but in all actuality, they're not, you know what I mean? Again, it's just the energy of not trying to come on like too strong or come off as super desperate, you know, things of that nature. I am definitely getting that from this person. Okay. All right. I don't know if you take a while to like text this person back or what the case may be, but I am definitely getting that they just don't want to be so quick to like respond to your text messages the moment that it comes in. You know what I mean? Hence why they tend to like, I don't know, like portray this image like they're a busy man or they're a busy woman, when in all actuality, they ain't that freaking busy. This is not the president of the United States here. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, they just don't want to come off too strong and or desperate. Trust me, when this person gets a text from you, they see it instantly. They just don't like to respond instantly. Because in their eyes, they kind of feel like it's, kind of giving, you the impression, I guess, that they're coming off extremely desperate. Okay. Alrighty then. I guess. Okay. This person might be older than you. I am getting that there's like a slight age gap between you and them. So they might be older than you, or you might be older than them. But how does Leo currently feel? Okay. All right. So we do have the 9 of Swords. We got the Strength card. And then we also have the 5 of Pentacles. Okay. So it kind of looks like you're the one that's worried and concerned here. Or you're starting to become extremely worried and concerned here when it comes down to your relationship with this person to the right of me. Okay. I feel like the more you develop emotions for this person, Leo, the more frightened you become, the more concerned you become, is basically what I'm getting. With the 9 of Swords coming out here, that's kind of telling me that you're very worried and concerned that, you're going to, develop all of these emotions for this person. In the end, this person's going to disappoint you. In the end, this person's going to abandon you. In the end, this person's going to, do something to hurt you and or betray you and or deceive you. Like I said, the 9 of Swords is somebody who's very worried and concerned about something that more than likely is never going to happen. Now, you guys are showing up as a true pair to one another. This person's showing up as the Emperor. You're showing up as the Empress. The person that's in the Strength card is basically the Empress. Now, there's a huge possibility that the main reason why all of this is coming up to the surface for you, as far as like, you having this huge fear that, you're developing all of these emotions for somebody that might end up disappointing you in the end, or leaving you in the end, or abandoning you in the end, or betraying you or deceiving you in the end. Could have more to do with your past, believe it or not, and very little to do with this person. There's a huge possibility that in romantic relationships, at least for you, you haven't had the best experience. So you might associate, developing emotions, for someone as a negative thing, as a scary thing. For some of you, you might even associate being in a relationship with someone as a negative thing, as a bad thing, something that's just going to bring you nothing but pain and suffering and disappointment. I just kind of feel like you have a very negative association when it comes down to being in a romantic relationship with someone, and or developing strong and intense emotions. But you are kind of going based off of past experiences, right, that you've had with other people. And because you've had many bad experiences in love, it makes sense as to why you're kind of looking at developing emotions for someone or jumping into a relationship with someone as, something that is going to bring you a lot of pain and suffering, because that's what always happens. Now, at the bottom of the deck, we do have the 9 of Pentacles. We do have the 3 of Wands, and then we also have the 2 of Cups, and then we have the Queen of Swords. Well, it makes sense as to why you're showing up as the Queen of Swords as well. Queen of Swords is somebody who has been through a lot in romantic relationships. So you definitely have been through a lot. And despite the stuff that you've essentially been through, Leo, I feel like you still want love, obviously, in your life. You still want someone that you can go off and build and establish a life with. I mean, despite everything that has occurred in your life in previous relationships prior to you obviously meeting this person. But despite the fact that this worry and this concern is coming up to the surface here for you, Leo, I see you trying your hardest to be open and receptive. I see you trying your hardest to not assume the worst and or think the worst when it comes down to this person, which I really, really do like. I do like. Okay, let's jump back over to them. How does this person currently feel? Don't fall. Okay. We have the 10 of Swords. We have the King of Pentacles. And then we also have the King of Cups. I'm not gonna lie, I really do like this person that you currently find yourself connecting with. True pair situation yet again. We do have the King and the Queen of Cups. This person is also developing a lot of emotions for you. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but they are definitely developing a lot of emotions for you. Let's talk about this person though. When this person finds someone that they really, really do like and that they really, really do want to be with, they invest all that they have to essentially give. And I feel like in the past, this person has invested all that they have to give into a person. And unfortunately for them, it definitely did backfire in their face. So I am getting that they are worried and concerned that this entire situation between the two of you might eventually backfire in their face at some point. Obviously, they're hoping that that does not occur, that that does not happen. But I think it's safe to say that the both of you have some worries and concerns when it comes down to, one another. You have your worries and concerns about them, abandoning you one day, disappointing you one day, leaving you one day, hurting you one day. This person, their biggest fear in regards to you and their relationship with you has a lot to do with them pouring all of themselves into you, for all of this to eventually backfire in their face at a later date. Like I said, they're hoping that that doesn't happen though. Now, I do like the fact that despite the fact that you guys been through the things that you guys have been through prior to meeting one another, you guys are really trying your hardest to just be open and receptive towards one another and give one another a chance and the benefit of the doubt. So I do like that. Okay. What actions will Leo take towards this person or moving forward? So we do have the World, okay. We do have the Eight of Swords, and then we have the Three of Wands. Going back to the message that you received for your reading for today, you attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. This is all about living and remaining in the present moment, Leo. It kind of looks like it's very challenging and difficult for you to do that from the looks of it. I mean, with the Nine of Swords to the Five of Pentacles coming out here, to the Eight of Swords, to Three of Wands coming out here, you're having a very difficult time remaining in the present moment. As your life starts to drastically change because of your relationship with this person, as your relationship starts to drastically grow and evolve here between the two of you, the more frightened you become, the more worried you become. This to me feels like an energy of somebody who is extremely worried and concerned about the future. And but what if this happens? And what if that happens? This is why Spirit is advising you to get out of your head and just live in the present moment. Stop worrying yourself to death over the, but what if this happens and what if that happens? Okay? That is your biggest advice when it comes down to this relationship that you currently find yourself in. Stop worrying so much about the future and the, but what if this and what if that? Because the stuff that you're worried about, more than likely is never going to happen. More than likely is never going to happen. If your biggest fear is this person, abandoning you one day, leaving you one day for somebody else or whatever the case may be, yeah, the likelihood of that happening, in other words, here's what I will say, just based off of, the energy that they're harnessing and the energy that you're harnessing. If this relationship, God forbid it never happens, right? But if this relationship were to ever come to an end, it's because you were the one that brought it to an end, not them, you. Believe it or not, it's very, very rare to see a masculine energy bring a marriage or relationship to an end. It's very, very, very rare, very rare. It's more common to see a feminine energy bring a marriage and a relationship to an end. So then that's another thing. You are somebody who harnesses a lot of, feminine energy. Your person harnesses a lot of masculine energy on top of that. So yeah, the likelihood of them ever bringing this relationship to an end or like deciding to like up and leave you, especially for someone else, yeah, that's not going to happen. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Another thing that I want to kind of point out is this. You guys are showing up as the Emperor to the Empress. So there's levels to this, you guys. We have the King and the Queen of Wands that come out first. The King and the Queen of Swords that follow. Then we hit the King and the Queen of Cups. And then we hit the King and the Queen of Pentacles. And then boom, that's when we hit the Emperor to the Empress. So that's kind of telling me that the two of you can basically connect with one another on all sorts of different levels. This person possesses everything that you're looking for within a person. So stepping out of this relationship and or marriage that you share with this person is not something that you are going to essentially do, because there's no reason for you to do that. You have everything that you essentially want within this person, vice versa. It's more common to like see people step out of like their marriages and relationships when they find themselves connecting with, their polar they're polar opposite. If I could talk this morning, they're polar opposite, or somebody that they don't really have much in common with. Y'all don't have that issue whatsoever. You can connect with them on all sorts of different levels, vice versa. You have everything that they truly want and desire within a person. Again, vice versa. So they're, in other words, you know what I mean? Neither one of you are going to have a reason, you know what I mean, to want to step out of your marriage and a relationship with one another when you guys already have everything that you guys want within one another. You got to understand that what you currently have is something that not a lot of people in this life get to essentially experience. There's more people who are going to essentially end up with their polar opposite than their true pair. There's more people that are going to end up with somebody that they're not compatible with versus somebody who they actually are compatible with. And in this case, it looks like you are experiencing, for the most part, a very rare experience. I'm sure you know, people that are in, marriages and or relationships, and they're with somebody that they don't have a lot of things in common with. They're with somebody that they don't really get along with. They're with someone that they don't really work well as a team with. I'm pretty sure you have family members or friends that are in marriages and or relationships where it is like that. And I hate to say it, but I definitely know, unfortunately, married couples as well as couples in general who end up with their polar opposite, and somebody ends up stepping out of that marriage and a relationship. But there's only one couple, believe it or not, that I know that when I tell you these two are like perfect for each other, they're like freaking perfect for each other. They're so compatible. They work so well as a team. And I think that these two have been together for like over like 5 years, and they still, I don't know, like these two act like freaking teenagers, it's like teenage love with these two. You could just tell that they're still very much so madly in love with one another. And they're still going strong like 20 to 25 years later. So pretty awesome. But you're experiencing a very rare experience. Very rare experience, my friend. Okay. Yeah, I mean, come on. You can't make this stuff up. Look at this. Emperor to the Empress. Queen of Cups to the King of Cups. King of Pentacles to the Queen of Pentacles. I mean, again, you're more prone to run into your polar opposite and build a life with your polar opposite than your true pair. I mean, it doesn't really get any better than this. It doesn't really get any better than this. But in regards to what actions they plan on taking your direction and or moving forward, this person truly does view you in a very, very beautiful lighting. I mean, this person looks at you like you're perfect for them. Now, for those of you who do not know this, the King and the Queen of Pentacles are considered to be the perfect partner card. So that's basically insinuating that you're perfect for them and they're perfect for you. This is a true pair situation without a shadow of a doubt. Now, with the moon coming out here, granted, they don't necessarily know what the future has in store for the both of you, and that does really worry them and concern them. It truly does. But this person's really hoping that everything works out here between you and them. That's another thing too, you guys. You guys are showing up as the Emperor to the Empress. You guys are at this stage in your lives where you guys just want to settle down. Okay, you're at that stage, and so are they. You guys have already enjoyed your lives. You guys already lived it up. You guys experienced what you guys wanted to experience, prior to, like, obviously the two of you meeting one another. So yeah, you guys are just at that stage within your lives where you guys just want somebody that you guys can settle down with and build towards a life with. So this is like another reason why, I don't feel like y'all have anything to worry about when it comes down to one another. It would have been different if this was your polar opposite. It would have been different if you didn't really get the chance or the opportunity to really live your life the way that you wanted to live it. Because that's another reason why people step out of marriages and relationships, from what I've noticed, is when they end up with somebody who didn't really get the chance and or opportunity to really live their life and experience and have fun and date around and, knock a few things off their bucket list, you know what I mean? But y'all, like I said, y'all don't have that problem. You've already lived your life, you already experienced the things that you wanted to experience. You already had your fun. So have they. Like, y'all are just at that point where you guys just want somebody you guys can settle down with and, build towards a life with. Nothing more, nothing less. But remember, you did show up as the Queen of Swords, and they're showing up as the King of Swords. I mean, yeah, you guys are very, very compatible. Very, very compatible. Let's see what the romance angels have to say. Remember, sorry, I know that was loud. Remember, try your hardest to live in the present moment, my friend, okay? Stop worrying so much about what if this and what if that, okay? Because it looks like this entire situation is going to play out 10 times better than you essentially imagine. Same applies for this person. All right. What can you tell me for this reading for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus? So we do have romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. Yeah, this is very similar to like the King and the Queen of Cups for me anyways as a reader, which you guys did show up as the King and the Queen of Cups. I feel like the more you learn to remain in the present moment as well as grounded, the better off you will be and the better off this person will be. Because I can tell that you guys are very worried and concerned about, but what if this happens and what if that happens? You know, I feel like the primary reason also too why you guys are very worried and concerned has a lot to do with the fact that this person truly is, you know, perfection in your eyes. So to get hurt by somebody who is like, yeah, to get hurt by somebody who has everything that you truly want and desire, you know, within a person is kind of scary, you know what I mean? So I understand why you're worried and concerned. Same applies for them. It's like to meet somebody who has everything that you want and desire, you know, to then end up getting hurt by that person or abandoned by that person or broken up by that person. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it has to suck. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure if this person was like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what you actually wanted and desire within a person, you wouldn't be this worried, you wouldn't be this concerned. But because, you know, they just so happen to have everything that you truly want and desire, and you truly do look at this person like, oh my God, like this is the man of my dreams, this is the woman of my dreams, I understand why you would be worried and concerned about the things that you are worried and concerned about. You know, I get it, because to get hurt by someone like this that you view as like literally the one for you, yeah, I'm pretty sure it would be a terrible experience to go through. Same applies for them, but it's not anything that y'all have to worry about. That's another thing too, because you guys are so compatible and you guys mesh so well with one another, and you're looking at them like they're the one, they're looking at you like you're the one, and they possess everything that you want and you possess everything that they basically want. Neither one of you are going to attempt to do anything to self-sabotage this relationship. And here's why. Because the both of you are showing up as the Emperor to the Empress. These are two people that have lived their lives. They both have a lot of life experience. I say all that to say this. You know that you're not going to find anyone better than them. Just like they know they ain't going to find anybody better than you. They know that if they were to self-sabotage this relationship, they're going to end up with somebody who is beneath you. You know, if you self-sabotage this relationship, you're going to more than likely find somebody who's basically beneath them. I mean, it doesn't get any better than you, just like it doesn't get any better than them. You see what I mean? So that's another reason why I'm telling you, like, y'all don't have anything to worry about. I get why you guys are worried, but y'all don't have anything to worry about is basically what I'm saying. All right, so good luck to the both of you. That is what I have for you, and I will see you guys in your next reading.